We can start talking about reporting, because this is where it gets meaty. There's a lot of meat over here in the sales side of reporting of Keap. So when you go down to the global reports in the bottom left-hand corner of your Keap Pro, it's going to open up this menu. At the very top, it's going to hit you with your all sales report. This is a very cool, very high level reporting spot. It's kind of meant to be like your 35,000 overhead view, kind of like your dashboard, but just for sales. So when it first loads up, it's going to default to the last 30 days, but you can switch it to like your sales for today, this past previous week, but there's no way to really like edit this. Okay. If you do want to see a custom start and end date here, send some feedback to Keap, please. We need more people sending them feedback. Okay. So at the top, total sales from that invoice we did earlier today, right? It's going to give you an average, an aggregate, the total number of sales that you have here, a nice pie graph. You can hover over it and actually pop up and let you see. It'll let you download if you like to do Excel. If you're a big person in spreadsheets and stuff like that, it'll actually let you download the report for that, specify your payments, and be able to kind of look through your listing on what's actually happening with your sales. Like I said, really cool high level overview. From there, we get down into pipeline analytics. That's about the sales pipeline, not the same sales as for this invoicing. This is this, right? So this is our all sales report more in depth. When you click onto that one, when you click into that one, it's going to give you this big list, right? It's always better to kind of hit on the new search button and kind of see your fields over again. So let's talk through it. The all sales report is going to show you every piece of information involving invoicing in your Keap Pro account. It's really, really cool. It's also like drinking from a fire hose, just being real. Okay. It's a lot of information. So I always tell people kind of hop in here first and kind of mess with it a little bit. When you come through here, invoice ID, this is the number that gets generated from Keap. This is the total amount of money that the invoice was generated for, how much was actually paid. This is important if you do payments. How much is due still, once again, important if you do payments. And the balance owed, what's remaining on it. The date that get made, and then you have a date created interval. This is really cool for creating these as kind of like evergreen reports. Like, hey, I want to make a report for my last 30-day sale. Well, last 30-day sales, right? And then you can, of course, customize this and make it as nerdy as you want. So if you wanted to have like a custom start and end date, you totally could. Okay. Don't really mess with the address and billing information in here. You can be specific. Some folks, what they like to do is like, I want to see all my sales from this particular town or this particular state. That's where you can do this. If you're not one of those folks, just skip over this part, right? Miscellaneous criteria. This is where you can start specifying the sales report to look for specific products, specific services, or if there was a particular vertical. Let's say Fiona had a tag for B2C clients, right? So she wanted to say all the sales reports for just those B2C clients. She could come here and specify that tag. That's kind of what you could use miscellaneous criteria for, to get kind of nerdy with who the contacts are at in that report. You don't have to, though, if you don't want to. Same thing with custom fields, just like miscellaneous criteria. It's just more data. Then columns. This is what this is the columns of information that are actually going to be displayed on the report. So what information you want to see on the report. By default, it's going to have the ID, the column, the sale, the date, promo code, not super important here. Source is important, invoice total is important, products, refund status, all the rest of those are good. If you want to add any more, you click on add fields and you can see there's a lot. You can get really intense in here, right? For our purposes, we're going to keep it simple though. Let's just check it out. Once again, ID, the date that the purchase actually occurred, the name of that sale, who the person was, Did they do it checkout page, or was this manually, offline, online, right? How much was that for? What did they actually buy? Then as you scroll over, it'll show you your refund status. Did they actually refund that money? How much did they actually owe you? And when was that sent out to them to purchase? As you scroll all the way down to the bottom, they'll give you the total amount of your invoices. So that way you know how many actual people purchased and then how much money you generated. So it's a very complete report to give you analytics on like everything that's happening with the way the business is collecting money and what kind of opportunities we have.